Hey guys, welcome back. Sims Beauty here with another video. Okay, today we are talking about self-love. So the title is going to be, let's talk about self-love. Self-love. What exactly is self-love? Self-love is exactly what it sounds like, loving yourself. Right? Self-love. Self-love is something that I have struggled with for a long time, and I didn't even know it. I would say it's not that I didn't love myself. It's just that I was a people pleaser. So a people pleaser is someone who makes sure everybody else okay, they have what they need. You know, you try to do what you can for them. You bend over backwards. You do all these tricks and flips and all that. You know what I'm saying? To make somebody else happy. But once you do that, you're exhausted. You're tired. You feel some type of way because you done did all this stuff, acrobatic moves for someone, and they didn't, you know, reciprocate. You feel some type of way, right? You like, I want the same thing that I'm giving you, right? So self-love. All right, let's start with people pleasing. People pleasing, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm going to talk about real life examples, but I'm not going to give names because that's not important. I would say that I learned how to be a people pleaser pretty early on in life, maybe around 8 or 9. I would say that I was in a situation that I didn't want to be in. So I'll put this out here because I feel like this. I'm an open book. I don't have problems sharing my life story with people because I'm not ashamed of it. My life story is what has, like, my life story is what made me me. If I didn't go through those things, I would not be Tisha. I wouldn't be this strong, beautiful, intelligent, resilient person. I would not. So I give my past a lot of credit for the person that I am today. Okay. So I was in foster care for a large portion of my life from the time I was 8 to 21. So I lived with a family member, and because I was already in a situation that I felt like, okay, well, you know, I was removed from my home as a young child, I felt like I wasn't wanted. And because that happened, it kind of turned me into a people pleaser. So when I was put in placement, I felt like I needed to do everything and anything that I could in order to stay in that placement because I didn't want someone to be like, well, you know, she's not worthy. See, that is the key. Sometimes it's something that triggers you to think that way, or sometimes it's something that actually happened to you to trigger you to be a people pleaser, right? So the type of child that I was, I'm not going to say I was a perfect child. I grew up faster than what I needed to. So I worried about, or I had to worry about adult things before I really needed to. So that's something that I kind of always carried through my life. I always say that I really didn't have a childhood. I had a childhood up until I was 8 years old. Okay. Because I learned how to do stuff before I was asked to do it. You know, I didn't give the person who raised me a hard time. I really tried not to do that. You know, I really just tried to do what I was supposed to do so that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't have to, the place where I was placed at was the best place for me. Okay, so I didn't want to lose that. So I learned how to make sure the house was clean without being asked. You know, make sure the dishes are done. If I didn't really have to cook because that person was an awesome cook and they provided meals, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I really just tried to do anything and everything that I could. Now, of course, did I trip along the way? Of course I did. I told you I was a teen parent. So I couldn't have been perfect. Again, there are no perfect humans. There's only one perfect person in the world, and that's God, okay? So I tried to do everything. I didn't try to give that person a hard time at all. I just tried to do everything I was supposed to do. If this person needed me to do anything extra, I was willing to do it. It wasn't a problem, right? Because if you think about it, as a foster parent, that means you're volunteering to take someone else into your house and give them what they couldn't have, right? So, I'm not going to say in a way, I want to be a foster parent, right? But I have to get my health in order first, because I felt like the person who did it for me made so many sacrifices for me, even if it was just taking me in. That's the biggest sacrifice you can do for a child, right? Take them in, love them, make sure they have what they need, whatever the case may be. I want to give that to someone else, right? So because now I'm disabled, I'm not able to work, and it's not about money. I just want to pay it forward. I feel like if somebody does something for you, you should always pay it forward. That's just how I feel. If somebody makes an impact on you, you know, try to make an impact on somebody else. And that's all I want to do. Because the person who took me in, they were my hero, and they still are. You know, the person that I am today, a lot of that had to do with this particular relative. So I learned how to become a people pleaser very early on, and it's something that I took into relationships, you know, when I started dating, stuff like that. So it was very easy for people to take advantage of me, right? They would take my kindness for weakness and say, okay, well, Tisha's a pushover, so why not get over on her and get as much as I can out of her, right? All right, so I would say last year around October is when I really started realizing, and yes, it took me that long to realize that I was putting more effort and energy into others and not myself. So I had a very big issue. We talked about it in another video about never put yourself in a situation where you're going to resent other people, right? I was starting to feel some type of way like, you know, I'm always making sure that my husband is happy. I'm always making sure that my kids are happy. I do any and everything I can. I bend over backwards for people, even if I don't feel good enough to do it. And I mean medically, you know. If I don't feel good enough to do it, I would still do it. But is that a smart thing to do? No. One, I'm putting myself at risk, right? If everybody around me is healthy, then why would the sick person volunteer? That's stupid. And I'm saying on my behalf, that was a stupid move that I made. Now, we might, of course, we could change the word stupid, but that doesn't offend me, okay? So I'm like, you know, I really had a problem with everybody around me being okay, and I'm the only one sacrificing. Like, I would literally, sorry y'all, I would literally buy my husband expensive things that I wouldn't buy myself. Like, I remember, now my husband birthday is on Christmas, and no, he does not get cheated. He's very spoiled. I do get him a birthday present as well as a Christmas present. Everybody in my house does that. And then our anniversary is 4 days after that, so he gets an anniversary gift as well. So he gets 3 gifts in a matter of a week, right? I'm buying these expensive gifts. And I'm not saying that he didn't buy me expensive stuff, but what my husband thinks I like and what I actually like is 2 different things. I am a very simplistic person. I would consider myself a minimalist. Items and material, those aren't the things that really make me happy. I love the stuff that you can do for free. Okay? So I got tired of feeling like, you know, I'm sacrificing myself. Buying my kids stuff. They have more than what they need. But then it was like, I wouldn't buy myself anything unless I absolutely need it. So, like, I would make sure I have work clothes, but I wouldn't make sure that I had, like, you know, stuff to wear out of work, because it was like, okay, well, if I spend this money, something might come up and the kids might need it, and then I feel bad. because now I feel like I didn't do my job as a mom. Yes, it was that extreme, right? So say I might buy myself a Michael Kors pocketbook, and then I would hold on to the receipt. Or I'll give you a better example. I bought myself, was it 3 years ago? 3 years ago, I bought myself a diamond watch for my birthday. The watch was $400. How about that watch is still sitting upstairs on my dresser in the case with the receipt that I can now not send back, right? Because it's 3 years later. I've never worn a watch. Want to know why? Because I was like, well, I'm going to hold on to the watch and I'm going to keep the receipt, because if something comes up, I can just return it, get the money back, and then whoever is without, I'll make sure they have it. No. No. You want to know why? Because if I get up and I go to work every day, I deserve to spend some of my money on me. All of my money should not go to the people in the house and the household. I had a very bad problem in the beginning of my marriage where I was too independent, and even though I had a man, I was still paying all household bills. Do you think that somebody gonna say, oh, you don't have to pay all the bills? No, if you're paying all the bills with your money and you don't ask for any assistance, and that person has a job as well and they get to spend their check on whatever they want, that's on you, because you did it to yourself. Again, we're talking about self-love. So what do you need to do to stop being a people pleaser and loving yourself more? One, stop helping people, okay? If you notice that sure everybody's go-to person, every time they have a problem, they come to you. But when they're doing good, you don't hear from them. When they got a couple dollars, they don't come break you off. That is a problem. That is a problem. Stop. Stop being Captain Saver everybody. Stop doing it. Stop it. You're not doing anything but hurting yourself. So how did I stop hurting myself? How did I start loving myself? One, I took a step back and I had a self-evaluation. Everything I just talked about, those are the things that I had to notice. How is it that everybody in the house is happy but me? Why is it when everybody's not happy, they come to me like I'm a clown and I'm supposed to just magically help them be happy? Stop wasting your energy. You have to protect your energy. You really do. Somebody has negative energy. If you start being sad and depressed and feeling some type of way because the person next to you is feeling some type of way, you need to either get up and remove yourself, or you need to tell that person, yo, your energy is not good today. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to kind of like go decompress. Whatever that is, playing the PlayStation 4, taking a walk, whatever, eating some food, I don't know, watching a movie, their favorite movie, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, you need to go fix your energy, please. Okay? So that's the first thing I did. I stepped back and I had a self-evaluation. I said, Tisha, this is not fair. This is not right. This is not the way it is supposed to be. And it's so funny because I would say a lot of women, and this is just my opinion, anything that I say in these videos it's just my opinion, and the advice that I give, you can take it as a grain of rice. Like, you don't have to take it or anything. This is just my opinion. I'm not a specialist. I did not go to school for counseling or anything. I'm just telling y'all from life experiences, this is what I've learned. I'm sitting down, I'm working, you know, I'm coming home, I'm still cooking, doing this, doing that. And I'm like, why is it that I'm up 5 o'clock every morning and I'm working myself to death up until I go to bed? I'm still doing stuff. I noticed that the things that I used to love, I don't do it. We're always doing what the next person want to do. My husband loves going to the movies, and I know he's going to watch this, and I love you, honey. But I absolutely hate the movies. I am a germaphobe, so when the lights go out, the first thing I think about, and don't laugh, y'all. Don't laugh. I'm serious. I'm thinking about, is there any bed bugs on these chairs that I'm going to take home with me? And then I'm going to end up with an infestation. Those are the things that I think about, right? I hate going to the movies. So one of the things that I started doing is stop going to the movies. My husband, Tisha, you want to go? Nope, I'm sorry, babe. I can wait till it come out on Redbox, Amazon, whatever. I can rent it, watch it in the comfort of my own home that I know is bed bug free. Nobody peed in this chair or any of that. You know, that's the first thing I did. I stopped going with the flow. Okay. The second thing I started doing was meditating. I meditate a lot. I meditate when I wake up in the morning, when I'm in the tub or the shower, when I'm getting ready. I meditate the whole time I'm asleep. It's crazy. I'm going to put a link in the description box with the app that I use. It's called InsightTimer, and it's 2 words. And it's an app that has a bunch of meditations. It teaches you like gratitude, self-love. If you struggle with depression or anxiety, it has meditations for that. It helps work on manifestation, affirmations, chakra cleansing, chakra balances, Reiki, like anything that you need help with, emotional traumas from, you know, your childhood, all of that. It has everything, right? I use the app, and today is 188 days with at least one meditation. And again, I told you guys I meditate multiple times a day. Matter of fact, today, I don't know what time it is right now. It's probably like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have meditated already 6 times today. And they don't have to be really long meditations. And again, let me tell you about meditation. Meditation you can make it what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, you know, yoga, or you know what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be, everybody has, when you think about meditation, you think about like a hippie type person, whatever the case may be. Meditation could be anything. It could be putting on your favorite music. I love listening to jazz. So sometimes I don't use my app. I might just put on John Coltrane or Miles Davis or Dizzy Gillespie, because you want to know why? I used to listen to jazz as a child, all the way up until I was a teenager, right? And then life got busy and I just stopped doing it. I became a mother and I just stopped doing it. But jazz is something that I really love. It's very relaxing for me. It just feels good to me, right? So I used to listen to jazz, and I just like literally 2 weeks ago, I just started listening to jazz. I haven't listened to jazz in about 5 years. Before that, it wasn't like, it was since I was like 15 or 16 years old. That's how long I went without, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I used to listen to jazz when a jazz station was WJJZ. Anybody who knows about that radio station knows how long ago that was. That was like in the early 90s. Or like 97, something like that. So what I started doing was start writing down the things that I enjoy. Things that I love and I don't do anymore, or things I moved away from because I decided to drop that and pick up somebody else's stuff. For example, in another video, I talked about how my husband is a sports fanatic. So I learned how to pick up loving football, but I didn't think to pick up the things that I used to love. You know what I'm saying? It's like being in a relationship and kind of losing yourself. You never want to be in a relationship and lose yourself. You always have to be true to you. So I started listening to jazz again. Now, do the people in my house enjoy jazz? No. My husband listens to jazz, but does he listen to it as much as I do? No. Is he going to listen to jazz all day long? No. But can I do it? Yes, I can. Because if I feel like I want to listen to jazz all day, I'm going to do it. Want to know why? Because it's something that I love. And what does love start with? Self. I'm just saying. I started listening to jazz. I didn't realize, because I was working 50 hours a week, taking care of the kids before my husband came home, cooking 4-course meals and all this stuff, washing clothes and taking care of the house. You know, there were things that I sacrificed. I used to love taking bubble baths. You know what I did? I stopped doing it. And I was like, oh, well, the shower is faster because I could be in the shower for 15 minutes versus be in the bathtub for 2 hours. wasting time. That's what I called it, wasting time, right? I need to hurry up and shower faster so I can go and do some more stuff to make other people happy. No, 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 no. This is what I do now. Every day I have a routine. I get up, I pray. If I don't forget, now I'm not going to sit up here and say I pray every day, because some days I do forget, okay? I might pray. I might meditate that morning as soon as I get up. And sometimes I don't, right? I see how I feel. I scan my body mentally. If I feel any discomfort, I make a decision. Okay, I'm not feeling good today, so the only thing I'm really going to do is get up, shower, put on some clean clothes, and then I'm going to lay down. And if that's all I can do, and somebody have a problem with it, then I guess that person going to have a problem with it, because that's all I'm going to do today. Starting with self. I'm loving myself. If my body is saying, no, Tisha, you can't go downstairs and vacuum the floor and clean the table and mop and wash dishes and clean the downstairs bathroom. If I can't do it, I can't do it. And if anybody has a problem with it, the person who has a problem with it can go downstairs and do it. But my body told me that I'm not doing it. And guess what I'm going to listen to first? My body. So I started meditating. So I meditate while I'm in the bath. Either I listen to neo soul, or I'll do a meditation, or I'll just sit there and chill. But I do take out time for Tisha every day. And some days I just have a Tisha day where I just worry about Tisha. I go into Tisha's little world. I just worry about what's going on with Tisha. And yes, I have children. And yes, I have a husband. And you know what I tell them? Any comments, concerns, or problems, please direct them to your daddy, because mommy is off today. I put my headphones on. Anybody I see walking towards me, my eyes is closed. I saw you and now I don't. Yes, I really do that. I'm not lying. I really do that. I have Tisha days because I deserve them. I deserve them. Some days I can, I might can work out a little bit. And when I say I work out, it's not like going to the gym. It might be, putting my yoga mat down, doing some stretches, or whatever I can do. Right? Because another thing I have to be careful about is putting pressure on myself. Right? So I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh my God, Tisha, you're home and you're not working and you're not at school, so you can't afford to sit up there and gain a whole lot of weight, so you need to be working out every day. Guess what? I tried that. And when you have a lung condition, you can't do it. So if I gain a little weight, people going to have to deal with it. I'm on steroids all the time. My weight goes up and down all the time. I'm not going to feel bad. That is another thing. Women and men, it affects both genders. If you notice you're having negative self-talk, and what I say, negative self-talk, not like talking verbally to yourself, but you ever listen to you talk to yourself in your head, if you're one of those people that's doing this, Tisha, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're 37 years old. You should have more to show for this. If you're one of those people, stop it. I used to do that. I used to put so much pressure on myself, right? You should be ashamed of yourself, right? You can't work. You're not showing your kids that, you're not being a positive role model. What you mean you can't work? I don't care if you're sick. You better go to work, because if you don't go to work, your kids might not do it. That is the first thing from the truth. I had to talk back to those thoughts. And it's called positive self-talk. For real. I'm not joking. It's called positive self-talk. When you start hearing that stuff going through your mind, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should do better. See what happened. I suffer from anxiety and depression. I'm not ashamed of it. It's a part of me. And I'm learning how to work through it, right? So I hear this negative stuff. You should be doing better. You should have a bigger house. You should have this type of car. Oh, the same stuff, those same pressures society puts on you. Oh, everybody should have the American dream. First of all, we have to realize the world that we live in. Everyone does not have access to the same things, no matter how educated you are. I am educated. I have 3 degrees, associates, a bachelor's, and a master's, and I'm not trying to brag, but there is no way in hell that I should be ashamed of myself. First of all, let's think about this. Let's break it down. I was in foster care. Okay? Being in foster care makes you a high-risk child for either running away, ending up on drugs, or getting in the system, getting locked up. I beat that. Becoming a teen mother. 50% of teen mothers do not even graduate high school. When I got pregnant with my son, I went to school pregnant, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. I had my son. Because he was born in October, I could not start school in September. You know what I did? I had my son. As soon as I had my son, I had one of my little cousins help me, right? When she got out of school, she would meet me to pick up my son, and I would take my behind to night school. And then when 12th grade came, I went back to regular school, and I graduated with my class. So I beat that stereotype, right? Okay. So I was in foster care. I was a teenage parent. Okay, teenage parents who graduate high school, most likely, the statistics say that they're very low. There's a very low chance that they'll get a degree. I ended up getting my associate's degree. Now listen, it took me 6 years to get my associate's degree, which is a 2-year degree, and I'm not ashamed of it. You want to know why? Because I did it to myself. I already had a son when I started college. I ended up in another relationship. I ended up having another child. Then I ended up having another child. So happens those last 2 children was really sick. One had epilepsy and one had, I had a very troubled pregnancy with him. So I had to take time off to tend to my kids because that's what a mother is supposed to do. Okay? But the fact of the matter, and the most important thing, is not about when I got it done. It's just that I got it done. So I did go back to school and I finished. Okay? Then I went to undergrad, got my bachelor's, and then 3 years later I went to grad school, and then I ended up finishing. Okay? So I already beat the odds. Okay? So there is nothing that I should be ashamed of. So if there's nothing that I should be ashamed of, why am I telling myself this? That I should be ashamed, that I'm not setting a good example for my kids. Those are lies, okay? And that is what, and people can act like I'm the only one in the world who ever had negative self-talk. It's not true. Now, whether or not you're mature enough to believe it is something else, but I'm just putting it out there. Whenever, well, I don't even have it anymore because I combated it. Once I would hear that going, I would stop it because it wasn't true. Okay? Sometimes you can hear stuff over and over. You can tell yourself stuff over and over and over, and then you'll start believing it. But the way to reverse that is the same method. Right? I beat the odds. I'm a beautiful person. I'm educated. I'm not an embarrassment to my kids. My kids actually have great work ethic because of me. Like, those are the things that are true. So you have to actually sit down and decipher fact from fiction, okay? So that's another way to self-love. So we already talked about find out what you love, right? We talked about positive self-talk. And I do have notes, guys, so it's just so I can stay, my mind, I can stay on track. Okay, so we talked about positive self-talk and about not being a people pleaser. So we're not going to let society dictate what we should have. We're not going to let society tell us what we should look like. And we're not going to success is what you make it. Success is what you make it. So if you're, I'll use myself as an example. When I first moved out of Philadelphia and I moved into the suburbs, I said to myself, Because what I try to do, I try to give myself a goal every 5 years. I used to have to do that when I was, you know, when I didn't have all the education I wanted. But now that I have that, I don't really have to give myself goals every 5 years because, well, I'm not going to say that I don't want to go back to school, because I am going to go back to school, but I'm really going to go back to school for what I want to go back for. Meaning, yes, I went to school for criminal justice, and at the time, that's what I wanted to do. But because I am in the situation that I am now, I now have to, I'm not going to say change, but modify. There are other things that I enjoy other than criminal justice, and this is why you have to take the time out to sit down and self-evaluate, right? So I love painting. I love photography. You know, I love being in nature and things like that. So I do want to go to a community college and start taking photography classes and painting classes. I'm sorry, sometimes I talk really, really fast, especially if I know I'm about to run out of air. So that's what just happened. I'm sorry about that, y'all. So success is what you make it. It doesn't mean that, oh, in order to be successful, I have to have a doctorate degree. I have to be able to make $200,000 a year. I have to live in a $500,000 home. No. So when I first moved here, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I said I must be moved out of here by the time my oldest is 18. Did that happen? No. Right? And at first, I was a little mad about it because I was like, dang, Tisha, you set this goal. You had 18 years to do it and you didn't do it, right? Guess how I combated that? I said, okay, Tisha, you might have not been able to move before your son was 18, but what happened? What were you able to do in those 18 years that you were, well, not 18, I haven't been here for 18 years. I only been here about 14 or 15 years. But what was I able to do while I was here? Daquan, I'm recording. Now everybody saw you, and that's it. All right, so I'm sorry, that was my middle baby. Actually, when I talked about bonds, our bond is really special because my birthday is January 29th. His birthday is January 30th. We almost actually had the same birthday. Okay, back to the subject. So what was I able to do during my 14 and 15 years being here? I was able to provide my kids with a stable environment. And that's one of the things, one of the best things you can do for your kids. We never lost, you know, we were never evicted. We didn't have to, you know, my kids haven't lost anything over the years because their stuff was thrown out on the curb or anything like that. So would I have liked a bigger house? No, not really. Want to know why? Because the situation that I'm in now, I wouldn't be able to live in a big house. I already have problems walking up the steps. So if I had a bigger house, it would be worse. You know what I'm saying? More stuff for me to do. Cleaning, I wouldn't be able to do that. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes God already have stuff in store for you. You don't know what it is. I see you, Daquan. You don't know what the purpose is when he gives it to you, but later on down the line, if you're paying attention, you'll see how it comes full circle, right? So I could have moved multiple occasions, but every time I tried to move, something would come up. That's God telling me, you need to stay where you are. So it wasn't about what I thought was important. Wasn't having, you know, oh, I need to have a BMW. You know, that type of stuff just shows status. Though that's not important to me. Like, I know that money isn't important to me, so why am I feeding into that? You see what I'm saying? You have to, just because society sets the tone, you have to break away from that and make your own reality. So if so if success to you is completing your degree, then you're successful. If success is for you, you're going from not having a job to having a job now, you are successful. Success is what you make it. Do not let society pressure you into, you know, trying to reach for stuff that is not meant for you. Whatever is meant for you is for you. You understand what I'm saying? If you go against that, if you go against the plan, it's going to take you longer to get to where you need to be because you're distracted by all this other stuff. When actually everything you need is right here. And that's the funny thing, right? I'm like, oh, I need to move, but I want to move in a division, and I want them to be able to do the lawn, and I want the trash to be taken care of, and I want them to shovel the snow, and I don't want to have to park on the street, right? How about all that I have here? So I wasted a whole lot of time trying to reach for something that I already had. And if I would have just stopped, stood back, self-evaluated, found out what is it that I want, and then looked at what God has blessed me with, I would have already noticed that I already have what I need. I'm already successful. Even if I'm not working, I have worked. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I have every job that I've ever had, it was helping somebody else. You see what I'm saying? I never wanted to be in a position where, you know, I'm just making a bunch of money, but I'm not doing nothing. I'm not helping anybody. I know that my purpose on earth is to help people. This is why I started this YouTube channel. It's not for money. It's not because I'm bored. It's because I can reach a whole lot more people through this video than I can by going outside. I just want to help people. That's it. But we're 36 minutes in to this video, so I'm going to wrap it up. But don't forget, everybody, love starts with self. Sit down and think about the things that you used to do that used to make you happy. Like, I'm one of those people. My husband hates the museum. That's fine. He knows that I love it, right? He'll go. He might walk behind me and pout the whole time. But matter of fact, you don't even have to do that. Can you just drop me off at the museum and I can walk around that thing by myself for hours and hours and hours, and that way I don't have to feel rushed. I can suck up as much culture as I want and I'm happy. Simple things. Simple things. It doesn't have to be about money, status. Not success is what you make it. So everybody, comment down below, what is your idea of success? What does success look like to you? Do you feel like you're successful? If not, why? If you do feel like you're successful, what steps have you taken to get there? Come on, guys. Let's try to be make this an interactive thing where we're actually helping other people. Okay? All right, guys. So if no one's told you today, you are enough just the way you are. And if no one else told you that they love you today, I love you. So until next time, guys, peace, love, and blessings. All right, until the next video.